Bank of South Sudan strategizes the national currency reform. Government and MTN launch ICT center at Mangaten residential area to enhance access to information. And authorities in Abyei administrative area appeal for humanitarian support as 81 households return from Sudan. Hello and welcome to SSBC 1 p.m. news coming to life in the national capital, Juba, with me, Abraham Aken. We thank you all for joining us. We begin this afternoon with the National Minister of Health, Sarah Returnees, assuring the commitment of the institution to enhancing the health care services across the country. Minister Real made the assurance in a meeting with the governor of Warrap State, Ambassador Bolwega Got, on Monday here in the national capital, Juba, where she expressed readiness to render necessary support to bolster health sector in Warrap State. During the meeting, the two leaders discussed several key issues regarding governance, with Governor Bolwega saying his visit to the ministry is aimed at seeking emergency support to ensure essential health care services reach the people of the state.
A number of issues as he prepares to go and assume his responsibilities in the state. We had the opportunity to discuss a number of issues related in managing a state and sharing experience. We'll also see what other possibilities, ways we can supply the state, and we hope to find something to give to the governor, some medications to take with him as he goes to the state soon. And we will continue working on ways, because there is so much in terms of health, and we will continue to working together to strengthen the health system, build capacity of our human resources, and then also empower the Health Science Institute in the state.
I'm here seeking her support to my leadership, seeking her assistance for emergency services to the Warrap State, and therefore I'm here to appeal to Madam Sarah Returnees, the Minister of Health of the Republic of South Sudan, confirm her support to me in my leadership and her support from her ministry to the people.
Government has commended Canadian continued support to South Sudan, predominantly in promoting girls' education. This acknowledgement comes in a meeting between the Minister of General Education and Instruction, Kuyok Abol Kuyok, and Canadian Ambassador James Means. The officials extensively explored areas of cooperation aimed at strengthening South Sudan's education sector. Ambassador Means, in a statement following this crucial meeting, reaffirmed the Canadian government's dedication to supporting South Sudan in multiple areas, saying they have already invested over 25 million United States dollars in the country's education sector over the past 5 years, highlighting the need for greater investment to ensure quality and inclusive education for all.
Is a strong partner for the Minister of Education. They have been supporting us not only with the guests, but Canada is also a multi-donor with the Global Partnership for Education. So we are happy that Canada has also committed itself to continue to support girls' education. This is the British-led project that has really made a lot of difference for many girls in this country. So we discussed that. We also reiterated the government commitment to continue to support education.
Canada, over the past 5 years, investing $25 million alone and continue to support the people of South Sudan. Canada remains a strong partner of education here. Accessible and quality education is key to development, dignity, and prosperity. And education is a key sector of focus for us, particularly to reduce barriers for girls to access schools and to improve their learning outcomes. And Canada urges the Government of South Sudan to increase its education sector budget allocations and ensure that allocated funds provide schools with operating funds and buy essential teaching.
As the government intensifies efforts during this rainy season to mitigate food insecurity, Governor Bolwek Agot has pledged to allocate 250,000 fedans to local farmers for agricultural initiatives. Governor Agot, who called for collaborative efforts to support the disarmament exercise to restore law and order in Warrap State, revealed this when convening with the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Hussein Abdelbagi. The meeting focused on technical support to promote farming in the state and preparations for the upcoming agricultural conference in the national capital, Juba.
He reaffirmed his commitment to support the states in terms of technical cooperation, in terms of provision of agricultural machinery, in terms of provision of seeds for this season. He also highlighted on his part to lobby for foreign aid to support the state with 300 tractors with full implements that can support the states in the 3 administrative areas. And in the discussion also, he touched about the importance of peaceful coexistence amongst the communities in Warrap State, so that they can rally behind the leadership of our President, General Salva Kiir Mayardit, who is a uniting factor for the country.
What Warrap State needs really is services, so that after completing the disarmament, I should be able to give our people an opportunity to be productive. And we talk in details. I can say this is well-informed discussion. We have talked about the programs of agriculture in the state, in which they have given us 3 tractors. They are not complete. And we are yet to receive more than this, because there are a good number of tractors in Port Sudan. If we get facilitation, we will get them here, and each state will deserve its portion. In this regard, in June of 30 per state, Warrap will be a beneficiary in that.
The Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Abyei, has convened with the acting chairperson of the African Union Subcommittee on Refugees, Returnees and Internally Displaced Persons, Ambassador Churchill Yambio, to discuss addressing an increase of refugees crisis caused by the ongoing conflict in Sudan. The high-level meeting held in Juba focused on growing humanitarian pressure following influx of Sudanese refugees to South Sudan. Minister Abyei acknowledged the African Union's continued support, emphasizing the need for urgent and coordinated humanitarian efforts. Speaking to SSBC, Ambassador Churchill says the subcommittee is mandated to addressing the plight of refugees, returnees and internally displaced persons, expressing commitment to working with South Sudan authorities to manage the situation effectively.
The purpose of this meeting is to assess the humanitarian needs that we have in South Sudan, to examine the impact of the new case load of refugees, especially those from the Republic of Sudan, to also examine the free movement, governance around the borders, the infrastructure and other things that the Republic of South Sudan is also doing in order to ensure that free movement.
Now, government, in collaboration with the telecom giant MTN South Sudan, has installed an internet cafe at Mangatene, the suburb of Juba, to help the internally displaced persons following the official handover of cafe in the ceremony attended by Mangatene residents on Monday, the Deputy Minister of Information, Communication Technology and Postal Services, David Yao Yao, applauds MTN for supporting digital development and empowering students, a move he says would enable learners boost their skills through research. The ministry's Undersecretary for Information, Mayuen Bulubek, reaffirms commitment to deepening collaboration with telecom operators to ensure access to information across the country. On behalf of MTN South Sudan Chief Executive Officer Mapula Budebe says the center would enhance access to information and employment opportunities for residents, specifically those tasked to operate the machines. Representing the National Communication Authority, Duda Chol encourages MTN to prioritize digital connectivity, not only in Juba City and its surrounding, but also in the remote areas. As part of this ceremony, MTN distributed 50 smartphones to selected members of the communities at Mangatene area.
It's more than just buildings with computers. It is a beacon of hope and opportunity. In a world increasingly shaped by the technology, access to information and communication is not a luxury, but a fundamental right for the residents of Mangatene. This app will open doors to education, skill developments, and connectivity that were previously out of reach. It will empower individuals, bridge devices, and foster services.
This is the mandate of all the telecom operators to have social responsibility in the different level of our communities in the level of the Republic of South Sudan. My request is to extend your services with scanning the local cultures. You know, the issue of learning is not easy. You need to address some cultures all over the country, and then you provide the services that need by our community.
Nowadays, ICT is a very important sector that is cross-cutting and touching every aspect of our lives. The way the world is changing so fast. This one is, let it just be a pilot. Go to a very remote area. Next time I would want us to go to a remote area, very far. South Sudan, no electricity, no access roads or anything, and launch the same thing here.
The 21 Days of Yellow Care is a staff voluntary program. Every year when we go out, we seek different projects that we seek to empower community, to enable access to community, to develop community. And this year, Mangatene became our focus. One of the things we always try to do is to focus on the most underserved areas, because MTN has a belief system. One of our belief systems is that everyone deserves the benefit of a modern connected life. So we always strive to make sure that everyone is able to get connected.
With the lack of support or the financial constraint, we are not able to make it as well as it could be. So through your support, we wish if you put that in consideration to help us with that.
The Parliamentary Standing Specialized Committee on Agriculture and Food Security, led by Dr. Gadia James Kila, has underscored the need for allocation of 10% of the national budget to agriculture sector to boost food security in line with the Maputo Declaration assuring food sufficiency. The committee, who discussed implementation of President Salva Kiir's directives on scaling up efforts to eradicate poverty aimed at poverty and hunger in the country, stressed this in a meeting with Deputy Minister of Agriculture and Food Security Lily Albino Kolakol, who reiterated the ministry's commitment to achieving food security despite lack of adequate funding.
We're supposed to see the budget is reaching 10% in accordance to Molabo protocol or Kampala declarations about the budget, 10% out of the total annual budget of the country. But that thing is not happening, and whatever we have seen, it is 7 point something, 7.3. So it is a percentage that really, if we are serious enough, if really we are implementing what our president stated very clearly. Nobody should violate what the president stated.
We assured the committee and the members of the committee that the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security is committed to develop agriculture and transform agriculture. Is also committed to heed to the directives and calls of His Excellency President Salva Kiir Mayardit to embark on agriculture development to address the issues of food insecurity, as well as making agriculture the backbone of our economy. We also reiterated our commitment to heed to the call of His Excellency the Vice President and Chair of the Economic Cluster and the entire Economic Cluster and the Parliament as of last year to make sure that at least 2025 we take some concrete steps towards agricultural.
In a significant development, South Sudan is expected to take part in a regional stakeholders forum in Nairobi, bringing together representatives from Eastern Nile countries, Sudan, South Sudan, and Ethiopia, and Egypt to deliberate on key issues affecting the Nile Basin. The forum aims to strengthen cooperation and dialogue among member states on matters related to water management, the journey toward Nile Basin cooperation, international water law, climate change, and transboundary water diplomacy and pollution control. Speaking to SSBC, a member of the National Assembly Standing Specialized Committee on Water Resources and Irrigation, Luca Peter, stressed that South Sudan is one of the countries most affected by climate change, emphasizing the importance of raising public awareness on water-related challenges and the need for collective action in protecting shared water resources.
In terms of cooperation among the countries who are benefiting from the Eastern Nile, which are South Sudan, Sudan, and Egypt, and then Ethiopia. But what I realize from this forum is that most of the countries, these 4 countries, are not in good cooperation, which need more to be done so that they can come together and join their head so that they can settle their differences in dialogue and negotiation. How we can go about our differences and misunderstanding understanding and mistrust among our countries who are sharing the Nile, the Eastern Nile Basin. The rampant logging that our people are doing, cutting the trees, burning the forests, this will affect us. Even though we, as a South Sudan, we are not contributing much in the climate change difficulties, but still we are still suffering from it. So we have to learn how to cope up with the changes that.
The Bank of South Sudan, led by Dr. Disababa Otto, has convened a high-level consultation focusing on fixing and managing the country's national currency. The meeting strategizes the new roadmap for the national currency reforms and broader economic stability. Otto says the overall goal is to support the bank's vision of maintaining price stability and building a strong and credible financial system. His deputy Samuel Yangamikaya and Rita Nyankira Kon both reaffirmed the group's commitment to developing concrete solutions to currency instability. We apologize for playing wrong clips there. Now, South Sudan's National Oil and Gas Corporation, NILPET, has announced that it is close to finalizing a strategic partnership with Rosneft, a Moscow-based state-owned Russian energy company. Speaking to SSBC at the St. Petersburg's International Economic Forum, NILPET Senior Technical Advisor Kamal Mabok revealed that a memorandum of understanding has been signed in Juba, adding that the technical consultation are ongoing to finalize the deal. According to NILPET official, the Russian company is expected to assist in the installation of oil pipelines and refineries across South Sudan to ease oil transportation and processing capacity. Rosneft is a global recognized energy company specializing in exploration, production, refining and distribution of petroleum and natural gas.
As we were moving around here, we were seeking for a new partnership with the Russian companies, and at the same time to see the new technologies and advances in the field of oil production and oil exploration. We are here to do business, and we have an MOU signed 2 weeks ago in South Sudan, Juba, with the Rosneft company, and still we are now discussing some small details, very technical details with the technical team to come up with the final agreement.
The acting governor of Western Equatorial State, Bagdagbu Daniel Rimbaza, is urging citizens to prioritize peace and unity as essential foundation for development. Daniel Rimbaza stressed the significance of boosting agriculture and fostering economic growth, as well as fighting hunger and poverty. Addressing residents at the state capital, Yambio, Daniel reiterated that fostering peace and unity among communities is crucial toward achieving meaningful development and improving the delivery of essential services across the state.
That peace is the only thing we must work for, and we will do everything possible to make sure that Western Equatoria attains the peace needed and also build the unity of our people. Western Equatoria, we are one, and we can be great if we are one. So everyone must work together, everyone must love one another, and we must make sure that our roads are safe, our towns are safe, even our farmlands are safe, and Western Equatoria must be safe. My message to the people who have not yet joined the government or who are still carrying guns, time for war is over, and Western Equatoria is now set to move forward in unity and work for creating a prosperous state whereby everyone can be enjoying the peace and where.
From Yambio, we now cross over to Abyei administrative area, where 81 returnees have arrived in the area from the neighboring war-torn Sudan through western Barakazal state. The mayor of Abyei municipality, Abyei Kwaldao, appeals for humanitarian assistance for returnees with emphasis on healthcare services. Abyei coordinating WOW Town, Zakaria Toby Adok, commended the collaborative efforts and support in facilitating the return of the displaced persons to their areas of origin. The returnees expressed happiness for safely returning home and reuniting with their families.
عدد 302 من العائدين كان عالقين في منطقة في ولاية غرب بارغزال واو وصلوا الليلة، وعدد طبعا فيها 81 أسرة والعدد الكلي 302. نحن بنناشد المنظمات الدولية العاملة في أبيي عشان يشوفوا حالة بتاعت المواطنين اللي جو هسي، وبلدية أبيي طبعا استقبلت كمية ده، ودير بيتم توزيعهم في حسب السكن الموجود في أبيي، ونحن نناشد المنظمات عشان يسجلوا النازل يتم تسجيلهم وكل الخدمات بتاعهم يوفرهم لهم إن شاء الله.
في ناس كانوا ما عندهم استطاعة عشان يجوا، فالإدارية أبيي حاولت عشان تقدر تجيب الناس اللي كانوا عالقين في واو، كلفتنا كلجنة وقالت لنا على أساس إنه نرحل الناس اللي هناك. من هناك حاولنا نسجل المجموعة الموجودة، فالأسر كثيرة، لكن المجموعة الجاد معانا هسي هي بتاعت 81 أسرة. دي الأسرة، أما الفرد 302 دي الناس اللي جبناهم معانا من واو، وصلوا معانا الليلة في منطقة أبيي.
يا أخوانا أنا حاسة لي فرحان شديد، وأنا بشكر ربنا أول حاجة، وبشكر لحكومة الجنوب، وبشكر للمنظمة، لأنه لما أنا جينا من الخرطوم ما قلنا نحن نحصل لحد هنا، لكن ربنا ياهو قادر على كل شيء. المنظمة دي يقف علينا الشديد.
العودة الطوعية أنه يدعمونا، لأنه نحن في الفترة الكبيرة اللي قمنا به ده لحد ما وصلنا هسه الآن، في بعض الناس وصلوا بعد 3 شهور، بعض الناس وصلوا بعد شهرين، بعض الناس وصلوا بعد شهر. دي كلها ما خلى أي شيء عندنا، ما عندنا مال نوم، وما عندنا حاجة ناكله، وما عندنا حفاظ ذاته، ما عندنا حتى ملابس.
Madwok Dudlwal has been elected President of the Union of the Transport and Communication. Gassim Yusuf Abdurrahman Lubari has also been elected as Secretary General and Jacob Abyei as Treasury. This follows the Union's General Assembly held in Juba over the weekend. Speaking at the event, the Secretary General of the National Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture, Kur Nyok Deng, highlighted the vital role being played by the Union of Transport and Communication in advancing national development. We have the report.
Of the General Assembly of this union was 45 members out of its total of 65 members. The nomination process starts with the deposition of President, Secretary General and Treasurer were unanimously elected, with Madwag Dut Lwal as the President, Kashim Yusuf Abdulrahim Lubari as Secretary General, and Jacob Abyei as Treasurer. Addressing the occasion, the legal advisor, Garang Kwal Atiang, the chairperson of the election, praised the integrity of the election of this union as a model for free and fair election.
Amin Al-Am Qasim Yusuf Amin Al-Mal Akuna Jacob دي 3 نفر الفازوا بالتزكية للرئاسة.
Mr. Kur Nyok Deng, the Secretary General of South Sudan National Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture, commended the efforts of the elections organizing committee. He asserts that the union is one of the tools for the economic growth, social development, and regional integration.
النقل العام نقول لهم ألف مبروك للانتخابات. نقول للثلاثة أعضاء الرئيس ونائب الرئيس والأمين العام نقول لكم ألف مبروك. الغرفة التجارية طبعا هو الأمبريلا بتاعت القطاع الخاص في جنوب السودان كله. يعني النقابات الأخرى دول كلهم تحت مظلة بتاعت الغرفة التجارية.
Madwag Dut Lwal, the newly elected president of South Sudan General Union of Transport and Communication, expressed his appreciation to the General Assembly for electing him as the president of the union. He urged the members to pay their membership dues to ensure a smooth operation of the union.
كان فيها حاجة كويس للنقابة كله بده يشوفوا حاجة ده كويس وحاجة ده ماشي قدام للزمن الجاي كل يا بدك كان كويس وأنا بمشي قدام.
It is noted that the union began its work as a trade union in 2013, and in 2022 it was upgraded to National Transport and Communication Workers Union. SSBC News.
And that story now brings us to the end of our news. From me, Abraham Aken, and the whole team here, we thank you all for watching. Bye-bye.